Yes, we have biases, but our biases are conditions for conversation, not hindrances for conversation, and definitely not an avenue for us to think that the universe thinks exactly like we do. Hello, this is Father Sunny, and welcome to another dose of Holy. What an exciting time to be with you today and to be broadcasting with you here at Dose of Holy. I was just in a very, I just had a very animated and really passionate conversation with a person today that I have come to respect just by the way she looks at the universe. And in our conversation, one thing was said that I thought got me thinking about biases because she said to me that when she hears the word compassion and love, she thinks we're talking about the Democratic Party. And I don't want to talk about politics, but I never associated love and compassion to any party. And I started to think and realize that actually it's because we are all biased. We all have our biases, and it is a lie to say that you don't have a bias. We all have our biases. And we look at the universe, we engage with the universe with these biases around us, all around us, conditioning the way we even listen, conditioning us in the way we react to things. We all have biases because of our upbringing, because of our environment, because of our previous experiences, and so it's just the way it is. You and I, we all have our biases, and in a way, bias is not bad. Bias is the only way by which we can engage with the universe. Bias is the only way by which we are able to engage in a conversation with the universe because our biases say something about ourselves. And that is why it's very, very important that when we are talking to one another, we are always considering the biases of the people that we are engaging with. And perhaps we don't have to impose our own bias on the people that are talking to us so that we can communicate better and understand each other better. We have to make a presumption that there are some biases that are working in each other as we are engaging in each other's worldview. And so we were all both surprised today when I told her, in response to the idea that she thought I was talking about the Democratic Party when I was praying about love and compassion. I told her as sincerely and kindly as possible, is it possible to pray about love and compassion these days without having to associate it to any political party and simply pray to God about love and compassion for everyone? And so, my dear friends, God created the universe in such a way that we all experience it in such amazingly rich way, and that the way we experience the universe become part of who we are and the way we further engage in the universe. That's why we have to first be very careful about our own biases and to not presume that our biases are truths. Truth, I mean, for everyone. It doesn't happen that way. When I think in terms of love and compassion, and I'm praying about love and compassion to God, I am simply praying for love and compassion. I'm not thinking about political parties in my head. I wasn't raised that way. In fact, I don't think in terms of Democrat and Republican. I don't think of those terms. When I'm talking about love and compassion and love of neighbor and acceptance and all that kind of stuff. So I come from a completely different worldview, and I think this is probably me trying to be a missionary to this community, to this country, to this society. We don't have to politicize everything. Things can be just received the way they are, as love is what is love, as love is what it is, without having to use it for a certain movement or something kind of So, so I had to kind of kindly engage in a conversation today that was very enlightening to me about the power of a bias. And I think each one of us have to really be discerning about our own way of looking at the universe, the way we're listening, the way we're engaging in the universe, in such a way that we don't allow our biases to prevent us from actually listening well to what the other person might be saying, or preventing us from actually having an honest, truth, and simply simple conversation in goodwill. You know, yes, we have biases, but our biases are conditions for conversation, not hindrances for conversation, and definitely not an avenue for us to think that the universe thinks exactly like we do. Huh? So, my dear friends, my dear brothers and sisters, be very careful with bias. Be very careful with our biases. We cannot impose our way of thinking to everyone in the universe as if we're all raised in the same way and experience the same way. And even if that happened, we will still engage the universe in different kinds of ways. That is just how God created the universe. It's so rich and beautiful. And I hope this is an opportunity, by looking at this, an opportunity really truly for us to respect one another, despite our differences. To love each other despite our differences. And again, I'm saying love not in some kind of a political way. I'm simply saying love in its possibly purest form in God, in the godliest way possible that I can think of. Anyway, so this is my dose of holy today. I hope that we all continue to engage the universe by learning about our own biases, the things that condition us from really engaging the universe. To thank God for our historicity and our biases and our horizon, the way we have learned the universe. And I hope that this opens us to open our minds and broaden our hearts and minds to what other new revelations that are available out there in the universe that we can learn as we continue living in this world full of contradictions, full of trials and tribulations, full of different strives and different kinds of looking at the world, full of differences and divisions. And I hope that someday, as we continue to look toward heaven, God will help us come to a common ground where all of us are not different from one another anymore, but simply united in truth and the wisdom of God, in the wisdom of God, in truth and the wisdom of God, basking at His absolute truth before us, in the absolute splendor of God. And that would be a place where biases are to be united together into the total reality of God Himself. And then we can all just say at that particular time, God is amazing and awesome. And it is good that I have come from where I come from to be where I am today. God bless you all. God love you. And I, as always, bless you a happy, healthy, and holy life. This is Father Sunny for another Dose of Holy. Bye.